All wings report in.
HouseDog, standing by.
MotherGoose, standing by.
Lowtech Tuck, standing by.
Lock S foils in attack position. Animal Squadron ready for battle.
Well, hello there, and welcome back to the Animal Squadron podcast. I'm one of your hosts, HouseDog, and with me, as always, the hairiest host, the man from the land down under, not Australia, but the other foreign country with sand, Elijah, MotherGoose.
Hello, everybody.
It's actually not that far south. It's mostly east.
Kind of in the middle, actually, and like the east, like eastern middle. I wish there was a word for that.
The eastern middle.
It wasn't going with my rhyming scheme, so I had to do something else.
I thought
That's
you
it.
said weast.
Now, Tuck, you don't get a cool intro. Tucker's here too. Welcome back, Lowtech Tuck.
What up?
The one and only.
That's right.
He doesn't even get that this week.
He gets it from me.
Elijah's back,
And that's what
his
means the
computer
most.
is no longer sick and broken.
And I didn't lose any of our audio. I was so
Let's go.
stressed.
Let's go. Elijah, what are we doing today?
Today, we are talking about our very first novel on the podcast, Master and Apprentice by Claudia Gray.
Honestly, one of my favorite Star Wars authors. It's probably her and Matthew Stover, who I think Matthew Stover has written like some of the most novels in the novel universe.
History. Yeah. Nice. I appreciate that they reuse authors. I feel like that helps create a more connected universe.
I also, kind of makes me wonder. I wonder if there's people out there that their favorite, like their ideal canon is just like the Claudia Gray EU or the whoever else EU. Like, I wonder if there's people who are just fans of that specific Star Wars. If you are, we really want to hear from you, because I would be very interested to meet that person.
What's his name? Timothy Zahn. I feel like he's probably got a pretty dedicated fan base as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
There are big Zahn fans out there. I'm a Zahn fan. I like the way he writes. His original Thrawn trilogy is super well written, easy to follow. Even if you put his books down for a while and you pick it back up, he kind of goes back over what happens sometimes, or he's like, this character was just doing this or something, and like, you don't forget characters easily. There's not he doesn't introduce like a new character in every chapter. He kind of sticks to like a main core, and that's who you have going with you throughout the book, which is nice.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so just kind of general thoughts. What did you guys think? Oh, actually, wait, before we do that, when did you guys first read and or listen to this novel, just for our audience's knowledge?
So I believe I was first, and I listened to it in early June. Don't remember the exact dates as when I first started it, and then I had finished it, I think, in like 2 weeks or something.
Hell yeah.
So I want to say like I was done by probably late June.
Nice.
Yep.
I started listening to it whenever Tuck brought it up one time. We were either gaming or
On the show.
on the show,
Yeah.
and it was not longer after I got my setup, like my PC setup. So I didn't start it that long ago. Like
Well,
maybe
and
like
actually,
2
you know
months
what? And actually,
yeah.
it couldn't have been June, because you were back whenever I was reading Master and Apprentice, and that was July, August.
Gotcha. Yeah.
One of the two. Yeah.
Whenever you returned. I started
Yeah.
on the 9th of this month and finished it yesterday.
My man. Like, what,
That's a lot of
4
listening.
days? That's beautiful. And it's also what, like 21 hours, 22 hours, something like that?
This one's about 11 and a half.
Oh, that's not near as long as I thought. Never mind.
Still pretty solid. I actually listened to about 9 hours yesterday and the day before. I was just like, I have no time to finish this, so I just pulled out some of my new HeroScape minis, started painting, and listened to the book for a solid 9 hours, and it was awesome.
Elijah,
man.
I just don't know how the women aren't beating down your door.
That's
with that
what
entire
I'm
sentence that you just said.
That's what I'm saying.
There I was in my little loft apartment in the corner, the virginity corner behind
The virginity corner. Put
my
some respect on
Warhammer
his name.
40k minifigures in hand, with my paints, delicately painting
Now,
the little
listen,
figurines.
This is Heroescape figures, but
Oh,
I do
Heroescape
have
figures, sorry.
4 Warhammer armies. Actually 5. Don't worry about it.
Sorry, Heroescape.
And a couple Star Wars Legion armies. Don't worry about it.
No,
Hey, man,
I love
it's
it.
a cool hobby. It's a cool hobby.
Hell
This
yeah.
book is not canon anymore, right?
No.
That's true, but I think there's some stuff where I think it's one of those where it's not mostly because Disney bought the franchise and it was one of the ones that was taken out. Mm-hmm. But
Yeah.
I think overall, I can't think of anything in the story that contrasts
Contradicts.
canon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like,
that's
I would say I'd be fine with it if it was.
Yeah, this
That's
one
what I
fits
was trying
really
to figure
nicely
it
into
out.
canon.
was while I was listening to it, and I finished it today. I had like an hour and a half left today to finish. It was like the last 3 chapters or last 4. And that thought kind of appeared. I was like, why is this not, because I couldn't remember for sure if it was still canon or not. And I was just like, why is this not canon anymore? Because nothing I've really listened to seemed like it contradicted
Yeah.
Yeah.
anything.
I believe the only reason is just because it was written prior to 2014.
Yeah. There is one possible contradiction. Not really a contradiction, but it was just kind of weird the way it worked out that I wanted to talk with you guys about.
Go ahead.
So this is kind of into the novel stuff, so sorry for skipping way ahead, but Qui-Gon gets an offer to be on the council, and he's the one who turns it down. But then in episode 1, Obi-Wan has his line of like, well, this isn't why you're on the council, because you disagree with him. But we see but we see in this novel that the council actually offered him a spot, and that just seemed a little weird, contradictory to me.
But also, too, like, I mean, could it be that line is just a snarky jab from Obi-Wan?
Maybe. He is quite
Like, you know what I
snarky.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it may not, like, he may know all that information that Qui-Gon was offered a spot, but he still says, this is why you're not on the council, just as a snarky comment.
Yeah.
The only thing that can like really contradict that is like Elijah said at the end of the book, Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are about to leave the planet that this adventure takes place on. And Qui-Gon, in not so many words, I guess, I don't know. He's just like, whenever we get back to Coruscant, I'm talking to the council and I'm just going to stay with you. Like he tells Obi-Wan that he's going to turn down the council, which does in turn contradict episode 1.
Yeah, it just seems like a weird
why
comment
is that,
for
though?
Obi-Wan to make after this adventure.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
just want to know, like, but why does that contradict episode 1?
I think it's the
Because his
phrasing
line in episode, his phrasing in
how he
episode
says
1
it,
is he's saying in episode 1, if you would just be more, what's not constructive, whenever you like go with the crowd, what's that word that
like
starts with a
fit
C?
in,
Not congruent. Oh, conformative.
cordial, conformative, yeah.
If you would just conform to everybody else in the order, you would be on the council, which makes
Yeah.
it sound like if Qui-Gon was more of a regular Jedi instead of kind of the weirdo that he is, he would be on the council, but he was offered the council and he turned them down. Obi-Wan's line makes it seem like he was never offered the position in the first place.
It makes it seem like it's Qui-Gon's fault.
Yeah, but I guess what I'm saying is I don't necessarily see that as a contradiction, more so as just like, if this book was canon, I would be willing to just say that that's just a snarky comment.
Yeah, it just is kind of weird.
You know, Tuck, it reminds me of a saying my father would always say. Opinions
that?
are like assholes.
it
Everybody's
is.
got one and they all stink.
Yeah, well, that's a way to end an
Hey.
argument, that's for sure.
Tucker, I don't think your opinion stinks. I think it's a valid opinion.
I mean, and also too, no matter what, we're all just saying what we think. It's not like any of us actually know the truth, so
You know
it
I
doesn't
love you,
really
Tukey.
matter.
You
No,
know
I
I
know.
love you, Tukey.
I know you do. I know you do.
Overall, that I
My
think
baby
was pretty much my main, in terms of just contradictions. That's the only thing that really stuck out to me. I think everything else fits pretty perfectly in to canon.
My favorite part in this entire book, Southern
Mace Windu.
Yeah, I know you guys warned me, but I just wasn't ready for it.
It catches you off guard so hard because it's like they're in the Jedi Council meeting, I think, is the first time.
Yeah, it happens like
that.
2 or 3 times in the book.
Yeah, but the first time they're in like this serious meeting that I think it's whenever Qui-Gon gets told that they want him on the council or they're giving him this mission.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it's like the author or whoever's reading the book to you is like naming all the characters are there. And then like the next line is like, and then Mace Windu chimed in and it's all of a sudden, well, Qui-Gon, I'm going to send you on this here mission.
I do declare.
I do declare, Qui-Gon Jinn.
And why is he too, like, you know, like, it sounds to me like also like a Southern lawyer, like from like the movie, like To Kill a Mockingbird or something. Where he's like, I'm just addressing the court. What I say is that
Boo Radley is not a bad man.
Yeah. So we all listened to the audiobook. It was narrated by Jonathan. I wrote his name down. I think it was Jonathan Davis. Jonathan Day,
he
maybe?
does a ton of Star Wars reading.
Yeah, Jonathan Davis. I feel like he did really well, especially in the way he did his inflections for pretty much all of the characters. Like, obviously, this was somebody else doing Qui-Gon, but his inflections were just Qui-Gon. It fits so well. I think Mace
and
Windu
young
was,
Obi-Wan.
Yeah. Mace Windu was the only one where I was like, this is not Mace at all.
Yeah, but also to be fair, like the only movie that was out at that point was just Phantom Menace, right? Or did Attack of the Clones come out? I think the book came out in like 2002.
This
So
book?
what's that?
No, this book is like fairly new.
Really?
Yes.
I think for sure it's after episode 3.
Oh,
but
okay.
I could
Well,
be
I mean,
wrong.
yeah. So my point's moot anyway. Like I was trying to say that maybe he just didn't really know what Mace Windu sounded like, but you know that's a moot point. Doesn't even matter. Never mind. I can't defend him anymore. I was trying to, but
Southern Mace Windu is real.
yeah, my heart was in a
He's
good
real
spot.
in my
but-
heart.
And he can hurt you.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, this is really new.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, actually, no, this is just the audiobook version. April 16th, 2019, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's when it was published.
I think that's around the right time for the book to come out, though. Would be like anywhere from 2016 on. I'm pretty sure. It's not really old.
It was April 16th, 2019. Okay, cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, then in that case, I can't defend the Southern Mace Windu thing. Never mind.
Wait,
Southern Mace Windu needs no defense.
then I think this makes that canon, because this would have been released under Disney.
Yeah. Well, then it is canon.
Who knows?
Well, I mean, I think it would have to be. I mean, if it's after Disney bought it
Yeah.
and after
Okay,
they
hell
redid
yeah.
everything. So it's
But
canon,
hasn't
boys.
Disney retconned stuff that they've made
Yes, they have.
since the buyout?
Oh, yeah, since the buyout, yes. It's
Like
not...
stuff that Disney produced, I think they've retconned their own stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't happen often, but it has happened a couple times.
Not that
But
it
I don't.
matters.
But I don't think they've retconned this. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I don't
Who
think
knows?
so.
I've never heard anything about it. So
Yeah.
But no, Elijah, I agree with you. This guy does a really good job reading. I like how he did, what's the other Jedi's name?
Oh,
Avervale or
oh,
Avrail?
Rail Avaros.
Yeah.
Rail
Avaros,
Averross. I really liked his voice for him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I was just just an old cowboy. It's Arthur Morgan
Yeah.
out there. I just liked it. Yeah.
Fanry. Fanry, you're gonna be a queen, Fanry.
Hey, Qui-Gon.
Qui-Gon, my old friend, get in here.
Come here, brother.
I need to smoke another death stick.
Oh yeah, that's right. He does like those.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Death, sticks, and sex. That's his vices.
Yep. I like it. What a guy.
What a guy. I like how he even does well, actually, the Jedi Council doesn't disapprove of sex, just being in a relationship with someone.
Attachment. Qui-Gon, you can plug it. You can put your lightsaber in as many hilts as you want, Qui-Gon. You just can't love them.
But also, it's funny to me too. Is it's like I definitely don't love that girl that I spend literally every waking moment with. Like, I definitely don't love her, and she's not my girlfriend.
The bar girl, bro. He just texts her at midnight, and she comes up to the castle, bro. That's all it is, man.
They hang out every night for years.
Not every night.
Okay, fine. Every other night for years.
I'm not gonna lie. I was really shocked when I found out he was a Jedi, because the book starts and like one of the first things he thinks about is this girl, and he's like, maybe I should try her tonight. And I'm like, oh, who's this creep? And then he pulls his lightsaber out, and I'm like, how'd this guy get a lightsaber?
Oh, he pulled his lightsaber out already.
I was so convinced for the first couple chapters that this guy killed a Jedi and was just pretending to be a Jedi on this planet.
I did too, honestly.
Nah, Avros is just him.
Rail. Well, and also too, his name's Rail. That's also kind of funny about what we're talking about here.
Don't worry about Dooku, Qui-Gon. He's just an old stick in the mud. He don't ever get his lightsaber played with like me.
Okay, but that conversation that he has with Qui-Gon when Qui-Gon walks in on him with the girl, where he's like, well, I don't actually love her, but remember you fell in love with someone and that screwed us over. I was like, dang, Raylan, chill a little bit.
Also, too, I think Rail likes her a little bit more than he
Let's on.
admits. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. But that also gives us, again, there's just this line of Jedi where Qui-Gon fell in love with someone, Obi-Wan fell in love with someone, Anakin fell in love with someone.
Rail is at least love adjacent.
Yeah.
Listen here, old Avros just likes to put his lightsaber in a hole every once in a while. I think I'm gonna do the entire podcast as
Bro, just say sex, honestly. I feel like sex is better than lightsaber in a hilt. That just kind of like just creeps me out a little bit. I'm like, ugh.
Qui-Gon, you ever put your lightsaber in an old leathery hilt?
That's how it feels to drive a Ford F-150.
That's how it feels to drive the new Ford F-150, Qui-Gon. Leave me with the boy. I'll teach him some things.
And then you just hear, like, while he's driving, he just, like, has a light beer. And everything's just like, hell yeah, brother.
Okay, I wanted to ask about Zerka, right? That was the company? Mm-hmm. Okay, so they make it clear in this novel that Zerka is like this really old corporation, maybe even older than the Republic itself. I don't remember any other reference to Zerka in any other media, which I'm not saying there's not. I couldn't remember them at all.
I think they were created for this book.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but also too, like, if this book is canon, which I now think it is based on when it came out, I mean, it would kind of make sense that we don't hear about it in any Star Wars media, because, I mean, after this book, they're kind of done.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, they're kind of pretty much screwed after this, so.
The Trade Federation swooped in and took over.
The
Corporate
Trade
buyout.
Federation.
Yeah, I
do
could believe
love
that.
me the Trade Federation.
Yeah,
That's right.
This is getting out of hand. I
there
told
it
you.
is. But yeah, I liked Zerka. Well, I mean,
Oh, yeah?
like Zerka, but I
Clip
thought
it,
they,
Elijah,
clip it.
The people that enslave people, huh? They're an evil corporation?
I thought they made good villains.
Now listen here, Elijah. Slavery is wrong.
Okay, actually, we should talk about that, because the whole like defense that like Yoda gives for slavery is crazy.
Like what?
No, this is. Sorry, I thought Mac was frozen for a second. He's just
No, I'm
he's
just
locked
really
in.
still. Yeah, my autism is locked in today, baby.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say I'm just listening to you dig your own hole. So
I'm not saying me. I'm saying Yoda.
Yeah, Yoda was defending slavery in this book. Didn't
Yeah.
he basically just say, like, that's not our business. You're there to defend the princess.
Yeah,
Wasn't that the whole thing?
pretty much. And him and I think it was Obi-Wan also, they brought up a couple examples. I can't remember who brought up what example of other species throughout the galaxy.
Oh,
and they
yes.
were like,
That is Yoda that says that. I
Yeah,
forgot
he's
about
like,
that. Yeah.
But doesn't this one species eat the elderly? Should we go stop them? And Qui-Gon's just like, yeah, but those aren't a humanoid species. Most sentient in the galaxy are humanoid and follow the same moral principles.
Oh, so Elijah's argument is that you can enslave everyone else, just not humanoids.
No,
Got
that's
it.
not my argument.
Got it.
That's not my argument.
I got it. I understand what you're saying, Elijah.
me. Yeah, I don't know. I thought this book really highlighted the like Jedi and their fall. Specifically conversations like that, and then like Qui-Gon was like, yeah, we can't tell the council about this because they're just going to do this long meeting of morals and nothing's going to get done. And then Obi-Wan tells the council about it and they had a long meeting about morals and nothing got done.
Yeah, and also, too, like, one thing I found kind of interesting is just, like, as far as one instance how the Jedi failed and, like, things that are wrong with them is, like, because also that's the other thing is, like, dude, not that many Jedi. Like, if you sent, like, 20 or 30 of them, they could take on Zerka and win no problem.
Yeah.
Like, and just some Republic shit. I mean, like, it would take 5 minutes to dismantle all of Zerka. Like, not even a big problem. But they just don't because they don't want to cause a galactic incident.
Yeah.
Which is just kind of, I don't know, a little weak.
Yeah, I agree. And I do, not with the slavery thing, I have to clarify that first. I do agree with Yoda's philosophy that it's not the Jedi's place to go and take over the galaxy. But I
get that.
There's a big difference between taking over the galaxy and stopping slavery.
Well, and that's what I'm talking about too. I'm not even talking about taking over the galaxy. I'm just talking about like literally just hitting up Zerka and it's like, hey, dude, you've got 10 days to release every single one of your slaves. Or we're gonna start destroying ships.
Yeah.
Do something about it, and then that would be it. That'd be all they have to do.
Yeah, and the warning, I hadn't even thought about it. The warning is such a good way to handle that because it gives them time to fix the problem. And it, like, if an issue comes up with the Senate, they can just be like, we gave them a chance and they didn't take it.
Yeah, right. And also, like, 10 days is plenty of time. Like, just to throw that out there. Like, I mean, yeah.
Especially with Zerka's, like, automatic, like, slave counter droids.
Yeah, that's one thing that, like, is my issue with the Jedi's decisions in this book is, like, something as wrong as slavery, and it's like, you're not even willing to fix it when it's an easy problem for you to fix.
Yeah, they're not even willing to have a conversation on ways to fix it.
And it wouldn't even take them much effort at all.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
yeah. They're a legion of space wizards. Like, this would not be difficult.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about the flashbacks with Qui-Gon as an apprentice to Dooku?
I liked it. I mean, I thought for the most part it went with like the events of Tales of the Jedi. I think it made sense, fleshed out their relationship a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And also, like, things I liked about it especially is that Dooku was pretty cold to Qui-Gon. And then literally just because Qui-Gon got into the prophecies, Dooku starts warming up to him a little bit once he realizes that Qui-Gon's serious.
Yeah.
And I think that just makes sense.
Yeah. I really like the flashbacks. I thought it was a good way to kind of fill us in a little bit with the Dooku Qui-Gon relationship and their journey without doing like a full story on them.
Yeah, without them having a complete book.
Yeah. What did you think, Mac?
I loved it. I really thought it helped bridge the gap between all the masters and apprentices of like the legendary line of Jedi.
Yeah.
We got to see, okay, this is why Qui-Gon acted this way to Obi-Wan, and this is why Obi-Wan acted this way to Anakin.
Yeah.
And that was just a cool thing.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting also that Rael and Qui-Gon turned out so differently.
Yeah, with the same master.
With the same master, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because really,
I think forgot that Rail was his Padawan too.
Yeah, and that's also, I think, from what I remember from the book, like, Dooku treated them fairly similarly. It's just Rael was a stronger personality and would push back and, like, challenge Dooku more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
then also they became good friends. Sorry, go ahead.
No. Finish what you were saying. Sorry.
No, that was it. That they became good friends even though Rael challenged him. It's just interesting. Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
So what I was thinking. I'm
No,
just
you
kidding,
go.
Elijah. I'm just kidding.
You jerk.
No, just to bounce off what you're saying, Tucker. One of my favorite moments kind of on that is the fact that Dooku actually invites Rael to come with him to like join the dark side, essentially. I don't know if he told Rael that he was a Sith or whatever, but just to come learn with him. And Rael turns him down, and I loved that moment.
That was a good
Oh,
one.
yeah, at the end. Yeah.
Right at the end. Mm-hmm. I think
Yeah, I
one
did
of
like
my
that.
like favorite moments was, I think it's midway, kind of more towards the back end of the book. It's after one of the little skirmishes that Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon get into, and they come back to the palace or something, or it's right after a fight. And Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are just kind of having this really silent moment together. And Obi-Wan asks Qui-Gon, he's like, Master, how come you never went into like more combat training with me? Like, that always kind of upset me, that you would always just tell me to go to the training room by myself. You wouldn't even spar with me. You wouldn't even do that with me. And you wouldn't show me more advanced forms of combat. And Qui-Gon just kind of takes a moment, and then he tells Obi-Wan, he's like, well, I thought if you could really master the basics of combat, the basic forms, and get them down to perfection, I would never have to worry about you in battle, ever. Sure,
Yeah.
you may not know a bunch of cool moves and everything, but you would have the tools to where you could take care of yourself in any situation, and I would never have to worry about losing a Padawan.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan just kind of realizes, like, oh. And
Yeah.
that was such a good moment in this book. Like, it broke my heart as much as it, like, made me happy. And I think
Yeah.
if a writer can do that for you, they've made something special.
Yeah. And that's such great foreshadowing for the actual movies because, I mean, Obi-Wan kicks butt, pretty much all of them.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Another great moment that I loved between Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon in this novel is it's like at the very end where Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are talking, and Obi-Wan was talking about how rebellious he was as a youngling, and they realized, the council put me with somebody who disagreed with them, so that if I rebelled, I would become more in line with the council. It's so funny.
Yeah. The only way to make me a perfect Jedi was by putting me with somebody who I would think is the worst Jedi.
Yeah.
I love that they saved that right for the end of the book. That was, I think, the moment that I said, and then that one are probably like my top two moments in this whole book.
Yeah.
Well, and both of those, aren't those whenever Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are kind of figuring stuff out?
Yeah, like they're starting to mend
because they
and
have a
fix their
falling out
relationship.
before
Yeah.
that, and this is when they kind of come back together.
The one Elijah mentioned is one of the last 3 chapters.
Yeah, but then I think it's the same conversation that Qui-Gon replies. I know Obi-Wan asked that question beforehand, but I believe, if I remember correctly, that he asks it originally more so in the middle of the book, whenever he's upset with Qui-Gon. And then Qui-Gon can't answer because he's upset.
Right.
And then at the end of the book, Qui-Gon finally answers that question.
Yeah.
Which, it was also interesting to see Qui-Gon's internal struggle. And sometimes he would even, in this book, his emotions would kind of get away from him, and he would kind of snap at Obi-Wan, which is really interesting to see because of how we find them in episode 1.
Yeah.
To see them kind of lashing out at each other in this book, because the Qui-Gon that we've always known and grew up with, you know, he's very genial. He doesn't yell at people. He doesn't lose control of his emotions. Like, if Qui-Gon's yelling or something, it's for a reason. He's not yelling at you. He's just trying to display the severity of the situation.
Yeah.
But in this book, he like actually snaps at Obi-Wan a couple times, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, but also too, like, learning how to be a master and stuff like that, and also under a bunch of stress with all that's going on. I mean, I'm sure that that's how he was treated by Dooku, so I think that's just also all he knows how to do.
As much as, like, I think Dooku's a cool character, I do not think Dooku was a good master.
Mm-hmm. Well, he produced excellence, and he expected excellence.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think you would also feel his wrath if he didn't like what you were doing.
Yeah, which this kind of, just to bounce off that a little bit, the Tales of the Jedi, the episode where Qui-Gon has to stop him from killing that senator, I think ties in really well thematically with what happened in this novel, where the assassin is about to kill Qui-Gon, and Dooku kind of loses it and taps into the dark side.
Yeah. And scares Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
So bad that he has to call Rail.
Yeah.
And he's like doing it in secret, hoping that, you know, another person won't walk in, or worst of all, Dooku won't walk in on the call.
Yeah, and he says something along the lines, like, Rail's like, it's fine, Dooku will get back to normal, and, like, Qui-Gon's just kind of like, I don't think so, this is different.
That's just Dooku, Qui-Gon, you know him, you've been his Padawan long enough. Now I'm going to put my lightsaber in a different hilt. Call you later.
I also loved all the jokes about Dooku's name.
Which one? I don't remember.
Were there? I don't remember that.
It was subtle, but there were a couple people made jokes about Dooku's name sounding like Dookie.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that at all.
Don't get this guy started on poop. He has a problem.
Our Terraria world, I named my character Poop Lord because I thought it was funny, and they just won't let it go. Anyway, I think it was, we haven't talked about them yet, but the Jewel Thieves.
Yeah,
I think it was them.
Not a character favorite for me, either of those guys.
Interesting.
No.
I really
was
liked
not
both
really
of them.
invested in either one of them.
But also, is that because you weren't interested in their characters, or was it because you were hyper fixated on Qui-Gon?
Good question.
Was I hyper fixated on putting my lightsaber in a different holster?
Don't worry, audience. He's only going to say that 6 or 7 more times. Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry. We're over halfway through this episode. It's all downhill from here.
The horse is mostly dead, but Mac's going to keep hitting.
I'll keep on beating it until it's dead, Qui-Gon. You ever put your lightsaber in a dead horse, Qui-Gon?
Nope.
That's how it feels to drive a Ford F-150.
That's how it feels to drive a Ford truck during truck month.
No, but Pax, and I can't remember the girl's name. I really liked both of them. I thought the former slave, also former was guy that was raised by droids for 15 years. I thought that was really
interesting.
Yeah, it was a great dynamic.
That I didn't care about. I mean, they were cool characters, sure. Like Pax, he was cool because his backstory I found compelling. That he got marooned on a ship for like 15 years, and all he had was protocol droids, and that's why he's like so cold and calculating and doesn't understand people at all.
Yeah.
But in my mind, the character that I created for him was just kind of like a nerd. And
me too.
The chick, the former slave chick, like I thought of her as like Laura Croft, like badass thief, like hot chick. And it just, the math wasn't mathing for me because they have like this weird will they, won't they thing kind of during the whole book. And I was like,
math is mathing for me.
I liked it. I was like, opposites attract, baby. I like it.
She wants to play with his Warhammer minis.
And good for her. Good for
Maybe.
her. Yeah, I really like their dynamic. I love the fact that like Qui-Gon could just tell through the Force that they were going to play a larger role. He says something about them. He says some people are drawn to the light like a sunflower is drawn to the sun, something like that. And I loved that line.
Yeah. Oh, also, too, one thing I liked about their story is, you know, they were going to collect these crystals that they then find out are like basically worthless. And then later they find out are like one of the biggest plot points in the whole story. Like, I liked how that was all set up.
Yeah, the Kyber that's not Kyber.
And how it fulfilled the prophecy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but it was like worthless monetarily.
Right.
Which is kind of interesting. Yeah.
I'm a sucker for whatever stories have prophecy and you have to spend the whole time trying to figure out how the prophecy will be fulfilled, and then it happens right at the end and the character puts it all together. I love that one part where Qui-Gon's talking about how the prophecy has been fulfilled and how he saw everything, and that part was cool for me.
Yeah, especially like his line to the council at the end where he's talking about it, and he's like, he says something along the lines of, I think it's after the council meeting. He's like, what the council doesn't realize is seeing these visions, the people that don't fall to the dark side are the ones that don't try and control the future. They're just the ones that are ready for it and willing to go with whatever the Force says. I can't remember exactly what he says, but I really like that line too.
And I like that that's how he told the council that he wasn't going to be a part of it, was he was like, through my visions. And this is why I like Qui-Gon's character in this book, is he's always just kind of an ass, but in a very like wise way, which makes sense of why Obi-Wan becomes who he is and why he speaks to people the way he does.
He does, yeah.
Is because whatever he's telling the council that he's not going to be a part of it, he's like, through my visions that basically none of you believe in and the prophecies that I've read, I've determined that my place is not on the council because the Force is working through me, and if I'm on the council, the Force won't have an opportunity to take me to the places where it wants me.
Yeah.
And just drops the mic.
Yeah.
And I was like, Qui-Gon, you a real one.
And I think this ties really deeply into Anakin's story, because Qui-Gon literally says, like, I am not trying to control the future. I'm not trying to see the future. The Force literally gave me these visions. And Anakin was in the exact same spot. And again, the council just did not listen.
But Anakin kind of went the other way. He was trying to control the visions instead of...
And that's where he went wrong. But initially, it's not like he was specifically seeking out the visions.
Right, they were more... I don't know, though. It's kind of hard, though, because Anakin was always driven by emotion. And, you know, it's... There's that saying, like, if you go looking for trouble, you're going to find it.
Yeah.
Whether or not, Anakin was always kind of looking for trouble. He was always worried of losing everything.
Yeah.
So, of course, he constantly had visions of losing those closest to him.
Yeah.
Not that it's his fault. I don't think everything's Anakin's fault. He was a tortured boy who didn't have enough love and care. Not that I'm justifying what Darth Vader did, but... you know what? No, kill the younglings. I'm fine with it.
Nope. There it is.
You ever killed a group of younglings?
That's how it feels to drive a Ford F-150.
I really love also about the prophecies that this book made it. There wasn't just one prophecy. It was like a bunch of different prophecies.
Yeah, because even the egg one is in there. Like the one about Anakin. I thought that was kind of interesting that one was in there.
Someone tell
Yeah.
me more about the egg, because my brain doesn't remember egg.
Like the Anakin prophecy, like the chosen one prophecy. It's about
Oh, that he'll come and free all the slaves? Or no,
Something
that was
like that.
that was part of the Kyber one, wasn't it? The Kyber.
I think
that's
so.
not
This was
Kyber.
like I don't know. It'd be better if Elijah looked it up. Probably.
Yeah.
Once I think that was what Qui-Gon's prophecy was, that once the moon is destroyed and you see the Kyber that is not Kyber, the
Yeah.
one that will free all the slaves will come, or something, referring to the chosen one prophecy.
Yeah, okay, I found a link to all of the prophecies in the book. Only through sacrifice of many Jedi will the Order cleanse the sin done to the Nameless. The danger of the
right.
past is not the past, but sleeps in an egg. When the egg cracks, it will threaten the galaxy entire. When the Force itself sickens, past and future must split and combine. A chosen one shall come, born of no father, and through him will ultimate balance in the Force be restored.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the one too that they refer to in Clone Wars, like whenever they talk about the chosen one prophecy, and I believe they even say it in that episode.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, that's what I guess I mean with the egg thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Should we talk about the princess and the big twist?
Yeah.
Yes, I did not see that. Fanry,
Me neither.
what are you doing, Fanry?
I'm not going to lie. I kind of thought it was a little obvious. Specifically, do you remember the chapter where she asks Obi-Wan to show her his lightsaber, and she gets like this twisted smile? I'm like, oh, she's the villain. Okay.
I never saw it coming.
I didn't see it coming either. I actually I remember the twisted smile part, and I thought it was a little interesting.
Yeah.
But I was like, also too, like, she's a pretty young kid,
Yeah.
and like maybe she's just like not sure how to
Weird.
handle some emotions. Yeah, maybe she's just a little strange because she's like 10.
And she lives in this palace surrounded by people. The only person that I think she considers a friend besides Rail is her slave, Katie.
yeah.
Yeah,
And even
but
then,
I think
she treats Katie like shit. So maybe we
Yeah.
should have known that she was always evil. Maybe I'm the problem.
well, I think that also too. I think that's why she's also not punished as severely as Zerka is.
Yeah, what the hell? She got an ankle monitor and house arrest? What
Well,
kind of
I think-
bullshit is this?
Well, I think a lot of it is because she's a child, and
Yeah.
she was,
burn
and
her at the stake.
she was manipulated, like
Yeah.
to a degree. Like, I mean, her actions are her own, but she's also like seriously like 10 years old or something.
Nah, bring in
She's young.
Anakin.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's
Anakin's never been manipulated, right?
ever.
No, I meant more for like the youngling killing.
Yeah. They literally say it. Whoever becomes leader of the council at the end, she's like, yeah, the princess is only going to get 4 years because in 4 years she'll be 18, and because of our legal system, we can't keep her any longer than that.
Which is, that sounds pretty typical of what the Republic / Jedi would do.
Yeah. Yeah. Which
They're
I
a
don't
little
know.
lazy.
What she did was definitely wrong, but I think she deserves another chance at life.
Yeah, and I think like, Zerka is the real evil
Yeah.
in that situation.
Oh,
like, I
for
mean,
sure.
she shouldn't have done some stuff, but again, I think she was manipulated, and her actions are her own, and she deserves to pay some consequences. Mm-hmm. But I think completely stripping her of her authority or executing her or something like that would only make the situation worse too.
I agree. And at
Because
the
what
end of
all
the
you would
day-
do is you would just spark a civil war. So I
Send her to the
guarantee
mines.
there
The
would
children
still be-
yearn for the mines.
Well, but there would still be loyalists on that planet. I mean, I guarantee it. And you would literally
yeah.
just start a civil war.
the book made it clear that the people loved her.
Oh, you know what we haven't talked about, guys? The acting troupe that got framed as terrorists. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I love that part. I thought that was so good.
Yeah. Yeah, by the queen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the head of security, like, he was just like hell-bent on it, even though like he definitely was involved in like all the fanry stuff. Like he was doing the stuff, and then like, no, they did it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the acting people.
I really loved his perspective because the book made it clear that he was not comfortable with this. He didn't want to do it, but he was loyal to his princess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. More of just like a good soldiers follow orders.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't justify what he did, but I think it adds an interesting perspective.
Sorry, just got a Clone Wars flashback and now I'm sad.
Punk row.
Good soldiers follow orders.
Or I think he was thinking of like the Fives episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Is it Jesse or Tup, the one that shoots the Jedi in the back of the head? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Yeah, that crew
It's either
is so
Jesse or
good.
Tup. Yeah, I don't remember.
Cut Up, Fives, the boys.
The boys.
Echo.
No, I really loved this novel, and I think the last point that I really want to make is that this is probably one of my favorite Star Wars novels.
Oh yeah, yeah. I like, for instance, I liked Rise of the Red Blade, and of the 3 books I've read this year, Rise of the Red Blade, this one, and what is that
Dark
called?
Disciple?
Thank you. Yeah. Like, you know, of those 3, I think this is up there as my, I mean, not my favorite, but it's pretty close. I like it a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's either number 1 or number 2, depending on the day.
Hell yeah.
If I could make a suggestion for both of you guys, Maul, Lockdown.
Ooh, I have been wanting to read that one.
Is it
Dark,
a series or
Gritty.
is it one?
No, it's a one-off. It's a solo story of Maul being sent on a mission by Palpatine to kind of like help prove his worth. Mm-hmm. It's all Maul, and it's so gritty and dark. At one point, he has to fight a Wampa without a lightsaber and everything.
That's pretty sick.
Hell
Yeah, just like without giving anything away. He, like I said, he gets sent on this mission. He winds up on like this prison planet kind of deal. It's not a planet, but it's like a outpost station in space where it's just this giant prison.
Yeah.
It's kind of Gladiator in space, but with Darth Maul.
Hell yeah. Nice.
That sounds pretty sick.
One
Yeah,
of one of my favorite Star Wars books.
I would be down for that to be our next novel. We'll see what happens.
Hell yeah. Well, do we have any other thoughts on Master and Apprentice?
No.
I think Rail's getting added into my
Novella?
novella.
Is he the Joey?
He could be.
How you doing?
Hell yeah.
Hey, Vinny. You ever felt a lightsaber?
Oh my gosh.
You wanna?
Is that going to be all of his lines?
They're all
just
just
have-
innuendos.
Just and also like bad ones. Like
Yeah. Really
Oh
obvious.
yeah, no.
really
Rail's gonna
cringy.
make you physically uncomfortable every time he is in a scene.
And that's art, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
I do want to clarify. Last week, I know you guys brought up the questions. I do check if we have questions every week. We haven't had one in years, so I just don't bring it up.
Hey, Rail Eveross here. Give us a question.
But
Or
audience,
I'll
I'm
be
ready.
knocking at your door.
I'm ready for you. But yeah, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Animal Squadron. Like our good friend Rail said, feel free to send us any questions you'd like us to talk about. You can email those
It's a
to us
threat,
at
not a
animalsquadron
suggestion.
at gmail.com. Again, that's animalsquadron at gmail.com. And if you could leave us a review wherever you're listening, that would be amazing. For the Animal Squadron, this has been MotherGoose.
Rail Eveross.
And HouseDog.
Goodbye, everybody.
Adios.
Goodbye. What a great time. I'm gonna go put my lightsaber in something else now. Maybe a warm bowl of Jello.